Jared Dillian. Own your money, own your life.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show. If you want to call to talk about your money, please call 844-305-7800. That's 844-305-7800. This is the Jared Dillian Show. You hear about this all the time. You hear about people complaining about the top 1%, the 99% and the 1%, the 99% and the 1%. I bet that most people don't really have any idea how much money it takes to get into the top 1%. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I'm going to tell you. What income level gets you into the top 1% of incomes. $475,000 gets you into the top 1% of incomes, and that's household income. It's household income. What about the top 0.1%, the top 10th of a percent? 2.8 million gets you into the top 10th of a percent. So you can see there's a big difference between just being in the 1% and being in the top 10th of a percent. So what percent are you? And we're going to go through this. We're going to go through all the percentiles, and you can figure out what percent are you. So the top 1% is 475,000. If you want to get into the top 5%, it's 248,000. To get into the top 10% is 184,000. Top 15%, 151,000. Top 20%, 130,000. 25%, 113,000. 30%, 100,000. 35%, 89,000. 40%, 80,000. 45%, 71,000. 50%, 63,000. 55%, 56,000, 60%, 50,000, top 65%, 43,000, top 70%, 37,000, top 75%, 31,000, top 80%, 25,000, top 85%, 20,000, top 90%, 15,000, and top 95% is $9,000 in income. Now, this is household income. This is not filing as single. This is household income. So these are some interesting findings, I think. These are some very interesting findings, because I assure you that nobody out there thinks they're rich. Nobody thinks they are rich, but chances are somebody thinks that you're rich. There's people out there that think that you're rich. No matter how little money you have, somebody out there thinks that you're rich. And just take, for an example, you have a couple that is each making $75,000 a year, so that's $150,000 in income. Now that's, $75,000 is a good salary. So if you have two people making $75,000, that's $150,000. That puts you in the top 15%. It puts you in the top 15%. And that may not feel rich, but a lot of people consider that to be rich. It also varies by state. In South Carolina, if you had a household income of $150,000, that would put you in the top 8% in the state. Again, it doesn't feel rich, but actually you are rich. As for the people in the top 1%, that's nothing compared to the top 0.1%. But is the whole point of this exercise. That is the thing with being rich. There is always someone richer. And I know lots of people that make $400,000 a year. And I would not consider any of these people to be rich, especially living in a big city. One thing I like to talk about is, I want to say the average Wall Street person makes about $400,000 a year, and they live in New York City, and half of it goes to taxes, so that's $200,000. Then they, have rent or a condo or a house, then they're paying private school because the schools suck, and there's really not a lot left over. I mean, in a place like New York City or San Francisco or LA, $400,000 is kind of middle class. It's not rich, Even let's say you have two teachers. and teachers don't make much money, but let's say you have 2 teachers that are making $40,000 a year. That's $80,000 in household income, which is the top 40%. You're in the top half. My guess is that a lot of, the returns at the very bottom, I think, are students or people who work part-time, but I don't know that for sure. A household that is in the top 1% might have a couple of doctors or lawyers working. I mean, you could easily have a couple that's 2 attorneys. They each make $200,000 a year, and that gets you into the top 1%. These are affluent people. I would call it affluence, but I would not call it rich. These are people that I would not call plutocrats. And again, one quirk of our tax code is that people with very high incomes don't get their money from W-2 earnings. They get it from investments such as dividends or capital gains. Now, we just talked about WhatsApp. Jan Koum, the guy that sold WhatsApp to Facebook and made $4 billion, didn't pay the top marginal income tax rate on that. He paid 20% long-term capital gains tax. Is that fair? Well, we're going to decide that in the next election. But here is my answer to the question, are you rich? The answer is yes, you are rich already. Somebody is looking up at you and thinking that you are rich. This is why envy gets us nowhere. Someone always has more money. When I see someone that has more money than me, I think, good for them. Terrific. Nice job. I'm genuinely happy for them. Do I covet my neighbor's money? No, but I want to get there on my own. I want to make that much money. So there is also the difference between having a scarcity mentality and an abundance mentality. We are the only culture on earth that has the concept of making money, creating money. Nobody says this. This term doesn't exist anyplace else in the world. Everywhere else, it is a fixed pie, and if I have more of the pie, you have less. In the United States, we actually make money. We create it out of thin air. Everyone gets more. If I were running for president, which I will never do, but if I was, I would tell people, no joke, that everybody is going to get rich. And Calvin Coolidge did that in 1923, that the business of America is business. And you had the biggest boom in wealth creation in American history. So don't get mad at the 1%. Take care of yourself. You can get there if you try. I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show.
Jared Dillian. Own your money, own your life.